So we need to understand three things. One, what is the highest potential of a human being? Two, what is samsara? And three, what is spirituality? So these three are very essential before we step into any scriptural understanding of the higher truth, of the higher knowledge. The first question, what is the highest realization a human being can get? For this, you need to realize that there are three realities or three paradigms in which human beings live. The first, or the most basic, is the understanding that there is a creator and the creator has created everything, including me. This creation, this world was already there before I came into it, and it will continue after I move away. The creator is big, I am small. The creator is all powerful, I am very weak. Most people in the world believe reality is like this, and it is supported by most religions. Almost every religion somewhere points it like this. Yeah. So I am real, creation is real, but creation is bigger than me. Creation was there before me. I came afterwards into it, and I will go away. Creation will continue. It is a very basic understanding. And somebody with this understanding, the scriptures call them adhama adhikari. It is a technical term. Adhama means very inferior. Adhikari means qualified person. So the scripture says somebody with this level of understanding of truth is least qualified for the knowledge of the self, or what we call Atmagyan, or to know about the truth of existence. Now there is another realm of understanding. In this second realm, the individual says, why does the world appear different to me at different times? This individual is a little bit more aware. He or she says, sometimes I feel so good with this person. Sometimes I just feel like I want to run away from them. Sometimes I feel the world is such a beautiful place. Sometimes I feel it is so stressful. Sometimes I feel so good with myself. Sometimes I feel so hopeless within myself. Why is my perception of me and everything around me keeps changing all the time? So when he gets deeper into this introspection, he realizes that a very important truth. The truth is that the world is as I see it. If my vision is better, the world is better. If my vision is poor, the world appears poor. So for him, creation is there because I see it. It all depends on from where I am seeing and what is it through which I am experiencing the world. Through the senses, isn't it? How do you experience the world? Through your senses. You see, you smell, you taste, you touch, you hear, and from that you experience. And what is it that perceives all this information? Your mind. So whatever the senses feedback to the mind makes some sense out of it and tells you this is what reality is. So whatever your mind tells you as the reality, you accept that as reality. And somebody who is aware of this, that reality may be different, but whatever my mind is telling, I am taking that as reality. You see, this is revolutionary. This amount of awareness is quite a big jump from the previous level. So here, creation is as I see. If I don't see, there is no creation. I see creation through my mind. So it's a projection of my mind. So if anything is not wrong, I think, in my life, then the first thing I need to do is set right my own mind. If my mind is optimized, then I think all that I see in my life, all that I perceive in my life will also get better. The state of my life can be improved by the quality of my mind. The quality of my life depends upon the state of my mind. If I can manage the state of my mind or get my state of the mind in a better place, then my quality of life also gets better. So this person is not looking at fixing people, fixing things, trying to get this, get that, to be happy or contented or successful. He is only trying to work upon himself. This type of person is called as Madhyama Adhikari. He means he is better qualified than the previous person. Previous person is the least qualified. He is a better qualified person to know the truth of existence or self-knowledge. And then there is another realm. This is the highest realm a human being can attain to. And in this realm, you see that matter or creation does not exist as we see it. It is just an appearance. The entire creation, including this very body and mind, is just waves, is just waveforms. It's not even just subatomic, it's not even atoms, it is subatomic particles. But because the existence in the state of subatomic particles cannot be perceived by the mind tries to give it a shape, a name and a form. And it recognizes that through a name and a form. So it is an appearance just for the convenience of the mind. Are you getting what I'm saying? Just be a little bit more alert here. The only way the mind can understand anything is by objectifying it. Say, for example, you hear word apple. Suddenly does not a shape and a form come to your mind. And forget about something which you don't know. You hear a name of some random person or random place. You might have never visited Niagara Falls, but the moment you hear Niagara Falls, doesn't an image come up your mind? You never visited Africa. You never visited Saudi Arabia, but somebody says Saudi Arabia or Africa. Something comes up in your mind, an image comes up in your mind, isn't it? It may be so far away from reality, but still an image comes up. So it is an appearance. It is a tendency of the mind, a vritti of the mind to objectify everything, because it cannot understand without objectifying. So whatever I am perceiving through my senses and with the mind, which is processing this perception of the senses, that need not be what truth is. It's only an appearance in my mind. For example, your dream. Your dream is not real. Where is your dream? Where is your dream world? It's only in your mind. It's nowhere else. But when it is there, it appears real. So the dream is an appearance in your consciousness. Look at the sky. You say sky is blue, but it's not blue. It is an optical. There is nothing like a sky at all there. It's just empty space. It looks like as if there is a sheet of blue there. The blueness of the sky is an optical illusion. But you see it. The eyes see it. Do you see what I'm saying? So you see the creation like everybody else, but you are aware of its true identity. Like you see a mirage. It appears as if there is water, but you know there is no water. So a person of heightened awareness, an enlightened person, a person in whom knowledge has dawned, the awakened one in the Buddha, he sees everything, but he also realizes the truth behind that what he sees. He sees the sky is blue, but he knows that it is not a blue sky there. He sees the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, but he knows that it is not the sun which is moving. He sees the water in the mirage like everybody else, but for him, he knows very clearly that there is no water there. It appears as if there is water. So for this person, existence is just an appearance. What exists is only me, pure consciousness. You can call that me, you, God, Guru, whatever name you want to give, you give it. But it's just one pure consciousness that exists. It's only the mind which gives it a name and a form, and by giving name and form tries to separate different aspects of existence. Yeah. So this type of person is called Uttamadhikari. One who is highly qualified to receive the knowledge of the self. In fact, such a person in whom even a glimpse of this appears every now and then, he becomes qualified for the highest knowledge. Now, for somebody who is at the lowest level of qualification, which is unfortunately the commonest level of understanding in the world, that I exist, the creation exists, there is a God who created, I am weak, God is strong, I am also real, the creation is also real. All my joy comes from outside. So if this situation is better, if this person is better, if this thing works according to me, if this relationship gets better, if that health gets better, if this body is different, if that body is different, then I am happy. This level of understanding is the default understanding. For such a person, the scripture says, for you, the path to move forward is that of bhakti, devotion. Because look, all religions are based on this. In devotion, you say, I am weak, you are strong. You already make a distinction that you and God are not the same. You both are different. God is higher, you are lower, and only God can protect you. Only God can give you what you want in life. Only with the help of God you can be happy, successful. This is devotion, is your path. So if you are at this level, then become a devotee. Unfortunately, devotion is again one of the most misunderstood words. You'll be surprised. If you say you are a devoted person, what do you actually mean? Oh, I wake up in the morning, I light a lamp every day. I go to the temple, I chant Vishnu Sahasranam, I chant Rudram. Oh, every time I go to India, I go to Tirupati or Kashi. I pray 5 times a day. I go to pilgrimage. I go to Mecca, I go to Jerusalem. You think this makes you devoted? These are just external actions. What is devotion means? Devotion means if you believe that there is a higher power which is running all this, you being unconditionally surrendered to it is devotion. This feeling of tena vina trunamapi na chalati. Without you, nothing happens in my life, so I surrender to you completely. Pleasure or pain, it's your prasad. It's your gift. It's your will. Let thy will be done. That is true devotion. Unfortunately, we have misunderstood the whole devotion aspect. Devotion is not questioning God, is not complaining to God, is not even asking God, give me this, give me that. It's just saying, you know better. Let thy will be done. I will just move on. Give me the strength to move through this path. That's it. In life, there is bitterness or sweetness. It's your giving. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take. You will give me what I deserve and what I need, and I don't question your will. That is bhakti. If you consider you are weak, that somebody else is responsible for your upbringing, for your comfort, for your well being, then be a devotee. And if you are in the middle path, the Madhyamadhikari, where you say, actually, the problem is not outside, the problem is my own mind. There are impurities in my mind is not skilled or trained. And if I know how to manage this mind better, then I think I can change my life completely. For such a person, yoga is the path. Yoga is the skillful way of dealing with the mind. Patanjali is your guru. It is logical, scientific, analytical. It works brilliantly. This is a much higher level of living than through devotion. Because here you have taken responsibility of your own happiness into your hand. You're not putting it outside. You're saying, I have to do something. Once I correct this, then it will get better. So this is yoga. And then for the person who has already had glimpses of the highest realm, that this all appears not very real. It all appears illusory, dreamlike. For them, the path is inquiry. Inquiry will take you there and take you much deeper. Who am I? What is this universe? What is the purpose of my life? Is this all there is to life? Why am I going through repetitive patterns in life? I do the same thing. I chase the same things, same pleasures. I've got the same desires, same worries. Just the objects of desire, objects of worry are changing, but I go through the same emotions. Is there something more to life? When this sort of inquiry comes up, then you will see that you grow. Yeah, these are the three. And what are the qualifications? What makes you in the lower realm? What brings you to the middle realm? What takes you to the higher realm? Very simple. The scriptures say, to the extent you are established in the four pillars of knowledge, or the four qualifications, sadhana chatushtaya it says. There are four aspects of your sadhana, your spiritual growth. And how well you are established in this determines your outlook. If you are not established, an adhama adhikari is who is very feebly or not even aware of these things. For him, he will be a lowly qualified person. For somebody who has heard about this, who realized and started some work in this realm, he will be the Madhyama Adhikari. And for some who is really keenly into it, and has been very firmly and strongly established in these four qualifications, then he is the highly qualified. What are these? Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. Viveka. Viveka is this sharpness of the intellect, is your ability to know the difference at all times between what is temporary, what is permanent, what is eternal and what is finite, what is truth and what is truth can never be finite, can never be changing. So Viveka is the ability to differentiate between the unchanging and the changing. This body is impermanent. Our thoughts, feelings, emotions, our perceptions, they are all impermanent. But holding on to them as if it is permanent is ignorance. Somebody says something to you, and you assuming that is their opinion about you all the time is ignorance. There is some difficulty in your life over the last 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. Think that my life has become miserable. That is ignorance. You've got a body, you've got a mind, and there is a spirit within you deep inside. But when something unpleasant happens in the body or in the mind, thinking that I am terrible, I am sick, I am suffering, this is ignorance. Having a clear idea as to what is temporary, what is permanent, what is me, what is not me, Atma and Anatma, is Viveka. The next one is Vairagya. Vairagya is lack of craving. Craving comes when you think joy is from somewhere else. This is the nature of the mind. Mind always keeps telling you happiness is in something which you don't have right now. That's why desire comes. Desire is about something which you don't have, isn't it? So not falling prey to this and realizing that I am happiness actually. Pure consciousness is nothing but happiness, knowledge and peace and light. Not knowing that I am those qualities and you keep searching is like the musk deer looking all around for where the scent is coming from. So Vairagya is, with Viveka comes Vairagya. Vairagya follows Viveka. That all the things I'm looking for outside don't give me permanent joy. They give me a hope of joy but never give me actual joy that lasts. The joy is transitory. The real joy is me. And being with that which is permanent, which is my own spirit, my own self, is what helps me to be in sustained joy. So you develop a sort of a disinterestedness or non-attachment to the material things outside, whether it is people, whether it is possessions, whether it is positions, all these things, you enjoy them, but you are not attached to them. This non-attachment to matter is Vairagya. Then we have Shamadhi Shat Sampatti. Shama is tranquility. You know, some people, how calmly they handle even stressful situations. You give them a bad news, they're able to process it before reacting to it. They don't panic and break down and have a meltdown. That quality is Shama. Dhamma is having a say over your senses. Shama comes from Dhamma, a good Dhamma. If you are able to have a say over your senses, then automatically that translates into having a stronger mind that helps you to have proper Shama. You will be able to handle life better, the ups and downs of life much better. Titiksha. Titiksha is the ability to accept life with its opposites without resistance. Life is not always pleasant. There are unpleasantness which comes. When it comes, embracing that also. It's part of life. Knowing very well that pleasure or pain does not last forever. Everything comes and goes. In the Gita, Krishna says, Agamapayino anityam tam titikshasva bharata. These things, hot, cold, shitoshna, sukha, dukkhada, hot and cold, pleasure and pain, they are transitory, Arjuna. They come, they go, they come, they go. Don't worry about them. Don't hold on to one, don't resist the other. Just flow with them. Forbear them and move through them. Titiksha is knowing that nothing lasts forever, and in whatever comes, embracing it. Doesn't matter. Health, embrace it. Sickness, embrace it. Pain, embrace it. Pleasure, embrace it. Embrace it. And see, these are all part of the prarabdha karma. Move through it. Uparati is the next wealth. Uparati is becoming aware of your blessings. Counting your blessings is Uparati. We almost always look for something which we don't have and forget all that we have already. In the hospital where I work, I find so many children. I treat so many children, less than 1 year old, who already had 10 surgeries, who had so many problems in their life. So there are so many children who don't even cross their first birthday. So many human beings who are born who don't reach up to their first birthday. And look at us. We are close to 50 or more. We are still walking, moving, running around. We are being productive. You're being helpful, useful. This is such a huge blessing. Just the fact that you've got your eyes which are working, nose which is working, tongue which is working, your senses are still strong, is such a blessing. Not being aware of this is having low uparati. Uparati is seeing that, my God, I'm so fortunate, I've got so much in my life. Seeing joy in what you have is uparati. In that which is close to you is uparati. Then you have Shraddha. Shraddha is this unshakable faith that only the best will happen to me. It may not feel like that to me right now because I'm once again seeing the world through my mind, and mind is crazy. Mind will, when you go further in the sutras, you will see that one of the tendencies of the mind is viparyaya. Mind, its nature is to misunderstand more than understand. So it's just because of the mind, it appears as if things are really horrible in life. But no, they are for a higher good. It's this Shraddha, having this unshakable faith. Samadhana. Samadhana means being able to focus. You sit for meditation, sit for chanting, your mind is not going all over the place. You are here. You are here. You are focused, strong. And then these are the 6 wells. Shama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha and Samadhana. And then comes Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva is this desire, this yearning for freedom, this yearning for something higher in life. Looking at all the people and all situations and say, how can somebody get stuck with this? Isn't there something higher than this? There must be something bigger in life than what I'm going through every day in and out. Let me look into it. Asking very important questions like, who am I? What is this universe? What is God? What's the purpose of life? Is there any meaning in life? Why am I stuck with repetitive patterns? Why am I born? What will happen after death? These are very relevant, important questions. And this is called mumukshutva. To the extent you are established in this, to that extent you become more and more qualified for truth. Yeah? So this is the basic what you need to understand. This is the basis of reality. Is the ultimate realization human being can attain is that of the enlightened being. Is being awakened, waking up from the dream of illusion. And the ability for that comes through practicing these 4 pillars of knowledge, being in these 4 pillars of knowledge, being alert, awake, and sadhana will help you to do that. Now, the second question is, what is samsara? Samsara is the repetitive pattern of life that is triggered and fulfilled by dwelling in the mind. You see the world through the mind and you don't even question it. You take it on face value and then go through it. Again and again and again and again, making your life like a merry-go-round. You know a merry-go-round? You sit on the merry-go-round, you go round and round and round, and when it stops, where does it stop? You get down at the same place where you got into the ride, isn't it? Life is like this. You are never contented. You're running behind one desire after another desire after another desire. It's taking you nowhere. There is this story. There is a fakir who comes to a kingdom and then asks for bhiksha, for alms. And then the king says, yeah, give him what he wants. But then the fakir has a condition. He says, I will not take any alms which do not fill my begging bowl. So whatever you give, you make sure you fill the begging bowl. So he's got a small begging bowl in his hand. The king says, oh, that's no problem. Ask whatever you want. He said, no, you give whatever you want, but just fill this up, that's all. The king says he's holding a small bowl in his hand. Said, he asked the minister, said, come on, today is his lucky day. Put some gold in it. Fill it up with gold and send. The minister says, okay. They bring some gold and put it in. Well, whatever they put in, it disappears. It's never getting filled. There's always some emptiness. Then it becomes an ego question for the king. He says, okay, bring whatever in treasury, just make sure you fill it up. And they're pouring the whole treasury and it's all disappearing. And then after a while the king asks, what is this magic? He asks the fakir, what is this? What is your begging bowl? What is so special about it? It is swallowing everything. He says, oh king, this is the begging bowl made from a skull of a human being. Whatever you put into it, how much ever you put, it is never content. It is never happy. So it keeps on wanting more and more and running more and more, doing more and more, getting tired but not reaching anywhere. That is samsara. Wanting, working, running, getting tired but getting nowhere. This is samsara. If this is what describes your life, know that this is samsara, the repetitive pattern of life. If you take a diary and write down one day what you did from morning till evening, you keep it aside. After 6 months, repeat the exercise. You will see there is not much change at all. You are just a repetitive robot. You are not doing anything new. You are doing the same things. 90% will be the same. Maybe a few 10% may be a little different. This is samsara. And what is the purpose of spirituality? Is to take you above samsara. Is to make you aware of your true potential and take you above samsara. And for getting deeper into spirituality, you need to understand this. Your existence has 3 aspects: body, mind, and spirit. Spirit or self, whatever you want to call. Body and mind are matter. Spirit is non-matter. Or you can also call body and matter or manifest aspect of creation, and spirit is the unmanifest aspect of creation. So this body is also called as gross body. Mind is also called as subtle body, and the self is called as causal body. Yeah. So imagine the causal body as just space, empty space, but with all potential. And in that space, matter arises as an impression. It's called tanmatra. The word for this is called tanmatra. It's just as if it is. The 5 elements just appear as notions. Very subtle. And in a subtle way, they form the subtle body. The subtle body is mind, memory, ego, and intellect. That forms a subtle body. And when these same 5 elements, they condense even more, then that gives rise to the gross body, the physical body which you call. Now the same thing is magnified outside as creation. The individual physical body, a combination of all the physical bodies in the world, is called prakriti or nature. Creation, what you call. It is also called, the word for it is called Virat. In Bhagavad Gita you hear Krishna showed his Virata Rup. Virata Rup means what? All the physicality of existence in one place. It is called Virat. And in the subtle body, at an individual level it is called the mind. But at a universal level, what is the mind? Mind is the source of creation. It is what the mind says, which you see as the world. Mind is the creator of your world. At a universal level, the combination of all minds put together, you call as the creator or Brahma. It's also called as Hiranyagarbha. And then at the causal body level, for you, you call a causal body. At the universal level, the amalgamation of all the causal bodies is called Ishvara, the God, the one with the ability to create, the potential to create. And under his instruction, Brahma creates the world. So there is world, there is Brahma, there is Ishvara. Ishvara is not like Shiva, what you think with a person with a snake around his head. No. Ishvara is that name given somebody. Ishvara and Aishwarya come from the same root. Means one who has got all the wealth that is possible. Aishwarya. And from that he manifests the world. His ability to manifest. Okay? And beyond this is called Brahman. A pure, still consciousness without anyone any desire to create is called Brahman, not Brahma, Brahman. So Brahman, and under the Brahman comes these bodies, gross, subtle and causal bodies. And the causal body of the universe is called Ishvara. You may call the same Ishvara as Brahma or Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna, whatever you want to call, Jesus or Muhammad. That's different. They are all at the level of Ishvara. Okay. Now, you need to be aware that my existence is not limited to just this physical body or to this mind. There is a part of me which is beyond that, the causal body. Most people are not even aware of this. Even though they experience it day in, day out, they are not aware of it. You know, whatever the changing aspect, which is the body and mind, they think that is their ultimate reality. Even science is stuck there. See, all the advancement in science, where is it limited? Only to the body, a little bit to the mind. Even mind they don't understand. Science does not understand. Medical science, same, stuck with the body and the mind. What is the spirit then? Do you remember just when you say, I'm happy, what is that I? Do you remember? Remember, just go back to the oldest memory in your life. Maybe when you were 3 years old, 3.5 years old, you might say, I was running. And then you are saying, I'm eating in the restaurant. I'm playing, I'm watching TV. Who is this I who is doing all this? You see, this I has not changed at all. This I which you are referred to has not changed at all. It's not gone younger or older. In fact, it has forever remained young. It's never aged at all. Do you see? Sometimes you go and meet somebody after 10 years, 15 years, and then say, oh, last time when I saw, look at this child, he was in the cradle, now you see he's become such a big boy. He's grown tall, he's grown big. I remember him carrying him in my hands. So you see somebody else has grown so big, so tall, grown older, but you don't realize that you have also grown that much older. You never feel that. Isn't that true? So that part of you which never ages, that is the spirit. That is you. That is a witness of everything. That is which records everything and looks at everything. That is you. And what is spirituality? Spirituality is realizing that this is the most powerful part of my existence and dwelling in it. Dwelling in the spirit. Not dwelling on the body and the mind. You say that I have a body, I have a mind, but I am not that. It's like these clothes. I'm wearing these clothes, but I'm not the clothes. Even the clothes are on me almost all the time, but I am not the cloth. I know very clearly that I am not these clothes. Similarly, knowing that I am not just this body, I am not just this mind, I am something beyond. So then whatever happens in the body or the mind, you don't relate to happening to you. There is disease in the body, you said, I am sick. That is ignorance. You don't feel so nice in your mind, there is unpleasantness, there is restlessness. You say, I am terrible. I am suffering. This is ignorance. When you can say, oh, something is happening in my body. It's not very pleasant, but it's happening in the body. I don't feel well in my mind, but okay, it's something in the mind, I need to work on it. So you leave things at the body, leave things at the mind, and then you stay positioned at the spirit. You don't ignore the body and the mind. You treat, if you got disease in your body, you treat it, but with a sense of separateness. You have something in the mind, you attend to it. That's what yoga is all about, managing the mind. But make sure that you have this sense of separation with this. That is wisdom. That is spirituality. Okay. All the sadhana, the purpose of all spiritual practices is to move you from the changing matter to the unchanging spirit. Is to take your attention to that direction. And look, they all move from activity towards non-activity, from sound towards silence, isn't it? So spirituality is a journey from the head, which is chaos, to the heart, which is silent. From sound to silence, from noise to silence, from activity to stillness, from impermanent to permanent, from finite to infinite, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Asatoma satkamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityoma amritangamaya. That is what spirituality is. Okay? With this background, we can get into the sutras now. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarutam pravaram munina Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Okay, now we will get into the sutras. So the first sutra is Atha Yoga Anushasanam, means now let me introduce you to the discipline of yoga. It's the first sutra of Samadhi Pada. Why does he call yoga a discipline? There is two things, Shasana and Anushasana. Shasana is the rule which somebody imposes on you. You have to drive on the left side of the road. When the traffic is red, you have to stop. You have to dress in this particular way. This is your uniform. These are your working hours. This is Shasana. Somebody has put a rule and you agree to follow that. But there is a rule which you impose on yourself. That is Anushasana. You brush your teeth every day in the morning. You have a shower. That is Anushasana. You say that I'm going to drive safely. I'm not going to be angry. That is Anushasana. So now he says yoga is a discipline. And let me take you into the discipline of yoga. This, what the rule you impose on yourself is what discipline is. I'm going to the gym, I'm going for a run. Nobody is imposing this on you. You are putting it on yourself. Something which is not so pleasant to begin with, but you want to get into it because you know the long-term benefit of this is very good. That is Anushasana. And he said, what does he say now? When is now? Now when things are not clear, when I am distracted, when I think there are problems in life, when I think there are challenges, when I don't know how to sort them out, when I want to fix my life, now what should we do? Now let me teach you the discipline of yoga, and then you get into it. And what is yoga? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. He then defines what is yoga. First he says, let me teach you the discipline of yoga. And then he says, you know what yoga is? Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. You know vritta means? Vritta means a circle. Vritti is that which moves in circle all the time. So our mind patterns, cyclical tendencies are moving always in the pattern. So vritti of the mind is the cyclical tendencies of the mind, nirodha. Nirodha, some people say control. I would say the better term would be manage. Control means forcefully holding on to something. How do you skillfully manage? Skillful management of the cyclical tendencies of my own mind is yoga. This is the definition of yoga. And why? The next sutra. Heyam dukkam managataha. If you do that, the sorrow which has not arisen will be removed from its roots. The misery that has not arisen will not rise. See, only two words, three words is giving you all the gist is going. That's why it's so easy to go through this. So first he says, now let's get into yoga. Yoga is skillfully managing them. He's not telling managing this person, that person. He's skillfully managing not just your mind, the cyclical tendencies that run in your mind. Why? If I do that, I will rise above the bondage of the mind, and the misery that comes through, I'll be able to remove it even before it is arising. Okay? I know we are running over time. I'll do another 5 minutes. I'll do two more shlokas. Yeah? Heyam means you have to, he emphasizes and says, you have to remove the sorrow before it arises. Tomorrow we will see why sorrow arises also. The source of misery also we will see. Heyam dukkam anagataha. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Only when you practice yoga, drashtu swarupe. Drashta is the seer. We spoke about seer and the scenery. The witness which is observing all this, the witness which is unchanging, only through yoga you will be able to station yourself in there. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Avasthanam means establish. Now all my attention is on the scenery. What is scenery? Everything around you is, including this very body, is the scenery. Your attention is not on the one who is seeing, but the scene. What is being seen? Oh, that car. Oh, that jewelry. Oh, that house. That food. Now you're already making plans. What I'm going to do now. It's already beyond 9 o'clock. What you have to do. It's all outside. It's all going out. So when you are in yoga, what happens? The outgoing mind returns and stays with the seer. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Only then you will be able to be established in the seer. Otherwise, vritti sarupyam itaratra. Otherwise, you will be caught in these tendencies of the mind all the time. Vritti sarupyam itaratra. Itaratra means elsewhere. Otherwise, what will happen? You are always lost in the mind. Lost in the mind means lost in the outside world. Vrittayaha panchatayaha klishtaha klishtaha. He says, see, Patanjali is, when he told the initial shloka, there in the shloka it says, I bow down to Patanjali, who through yoga purified my mind. And not just that, Patanjali is a great grammarian as well, who purified my speech because of his grammar, and he is also an Ayurvedic doctor, who purified my body through his medicine. So the sages of the sages I bow down. So here he very clearly says, I told you about the tendencies of the mind. What are they? There are 5 tendencies of the mind. Some are simple, some are complex. What are they? Pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra and smriti. These are the 5 tendencies of the mind. Pramana is proof. Viparyaya, wrong knowledge, misunderstanding. Vikalpa, daydreaming or fantasizing. Smriti, memory. Nidra, sleep. So these are the 5 tendencies. Pramana. In a very subtle way, we are all seeking proof. You are sitting here and then you think it is night. Why is it night? It's dark outside. In a subtle way, you want proof of that it is night. You are looking for proof for everything, because proof establishes where you are, who you are. Proof is a survival thing. And there are 3 types of proof. What are they? Obvious proof, guessed proof, and Anumana, Agama and Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha, Anumana and Agama. Pratyaksha means obvious proof. How do you say it is not? See, it's dark outside. It is obvious. It is your direct experience. That is Pratyaksha Pramana. Then what is Anumana? Anumana is guessed. Maybe. All science works on Anumana. You start with a hypothesis. Maybe this is how it is. Then you try to find something to either prove it or disprove it. You don't know or you partially know. It is not in your experience. You think maybe it is like this. But Pratyaksha is you know directly. You touch something, oh, this is hot. Or something you see there, smoke is coming, maybe there is fire. That is Anumana. Association. Where there is smoke, there must be fire. That is Anumana. Okay, and then Agama. Agama is, I don't know, I don't see, I don't guess. It is written in the books. It is written in the Gita, it is written in the Upanishad, it is written in the Bible, so it must be truth. So these three types of proofs the mind seeks. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama. Direct realization, the path of knowledge is based on Pratyaksha Anumana, Pratyaksha Pramana. Unless it is my experience, I am not going to take it on face value. That is Pratyaksha. Science dwells on second type of proof, Anumana. Maybe it was okay, then I will see whether I can prove or disprove. Religion stands on the Agama proof. I don't know what my Guru is saying. I don't know Gita is saying. I don't know the Bible is saying. These are three types of proof. Okay. Next one is Viparyaya. Viparyaya is the second tendency of the mind to misunderstand and make it as if it is real. Say, for example, I am showing you my hand. If I say, how is my hand? You say, your hand looks nice and neat and healthy. But you have not seen this part of my hand at all. There might be scars here. There might be a wound here. You see this and you think the whole hand is fine. This is how the mind knows little, assumes the rest and gets into wrong knowledge. You have experience of the body and the mind. You have got no experience of the spirit. So you don't consider the spirit at all. You think the body and mind itself is the reality. This is Viparyaya, being established in wrong knowledge. You see what I am saying? In the Gita, all that Krishna wants to say is in chapter 12, chapter 2. Everything else is just waffling around just to get Arjuna to sit there and listen to him. But what lot of people say, the main theme of Gita is Bhakti. Bhakti is the shortest chapter of Gita. Chapter 12, which got the least number of shlokas, is devoted to Bhakti. Nowhere else he speaks about Bhakti, he speaks more about Jnana. So this is another Viparyaya. So what happens? Mind gets some information, and that information, it assumes it is real and not only sticks with it, it spreads that. Our understanding of God is like that, isn't it? When you say God, you think a temple, a name, a form, and not only that, our children think like that, our parents thought like that. This is Viparyaya, not questioning it and then assuming this is how it is. The third vritti of the mind is called as Vikalpa. Vikalpa is sitting and fantasizing, sitting and daydreaming, imagining things. Somebody irritates you a lot in that work. You imagine they are having an accident or somebody catches them somewhere. The police catches them at the red. They get a speeding ticket and you feel happy about it. Nothing is happening. You are sitting here and imagining. Or you are sitting here and thinking, next week I'm going to Iceland. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Fantasy. This is one other tendency about fantasy. The fourth tendency is Smriti. Smriti is something has happened, you are not letting go of it. You are just holding on to it. An event that has passed through you, you are not allowing it to move on, you are holding on to it. That is Smriti, memory. It's not memory, it is remembering. So, when you are awake, your mind is constantly engaged in one of these four. And when it is not, then you are sleeping, Nidra. Mind either sleeps or when it is awake, it is either seeking proof or it is establishing itself in wrong knowledge or it is daydreaming or it is hanging on to the past. He says these are the 5 tendencies of the mind, and this is what you need to control, not control, this is what you need to manage. Now you know this is how my mind works. How do we manage this? That we will see tomorrow. Okay? Om Namah Shivaya. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhat bhavet. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari